Physical therapy and occupational therapy have been things for me that have made me the person I am today. So I was born 2 months prematurely. My due date was like October 15th, I think, or mid October, and my birthday is August 21st. So when I was born 2 months early, I had a lot of complications as a baby. I had a heart surgery, I think an eye surgery or two. Um, just a lot of issues as a kid, and knowing how much I did have after birth, I am extremely grateful that I am the way I am because I don't consider myself to be disabled, but I do have a disability. So I have been going. I went to therapy. The clinic I went to is called Children's Therapy, from the age of 3 months old till about 16 or 17. And to me, physical therapy and occupational therapy has made me into the person I am today. I mean, like, people might see me or remember me as someone who was caring and fun and just great to be around. And that came from, yes, my parents and my siblings, but my therapist and my therapy family have become my second family. Um, Even more than choir, and I love my choir family, don't get me wrong. I still talk to everyone as much as I can. But therapy to me just has helped me live my life as normal as possible and to see people for who they are instead of their disability. Um, I think when people ask me, like, oh, what happened? I understand what they're like saying, like, hey, why do you have your disability, or why are you in a wheelchair? And I tell them I was born with cerebral palsy, and I like to always say, like, do you want the real story or the fake story? And whenever they say fake is for fun, I try and come up with something on the spot, like, oh, I just tripped or something silly. But I was born 2 months early, and I really think that a disability is more about how you perceive it than how everyone else around you perceives it. If you, I don't think I really have a disability. I have a physical challenge, but I'm just as normal as anyone else, and I have the best friends anyone could ask for. Um, so it is just a blessing for me to have my disability. That may sound weird, but if I wouldn't have met people if I didn't have it. My therapists are amazing. My friends who I grew up with, I still talk to them off and on. And I meet people sometimes later on in life who either know someone else or is connected to someone else through therapy. And it just reminds me how great those people are. So, my occupational therapy was very, not minor, but it wasn't as big as a focal point as my physical therapy was. So, when you're in a wheelchair and you push in a manual chair, your hands become your feet. And from that, certain things do become challenging. For me, my biggest issue is penmanship. I still can't write to save me. So that's why whenever I did take notes in high school and college, and just if ever I could, I would type something over writing it because my hands would get too fatigued with the neatness of writing. Um, my physical therapy was just trying to keep my legs loose so that I could like so that I could walk better each week. I would go to physical therapy and occupational therapy once a week, and I've had multiple physical therapists and multiple occupational therapists, but I still remember my original schedule. I remember most of the schedules I had with therapists, but the one I had with Sherry and Linda was I saw Sherry on Thursdays after school and Linda on Tuesdays after school. They were partners um, in a business together, and then that kind of fell by the wayside about 12 or 13 years ago, maybe a little longer. But to me, physical therapy and occupational therapy, it's not even a chore or a hassle. For me, it was family and it was fun. I, my therapist, Sherry Cassidy, she said to me, and she still says this to me even recently, that I was one of the very few people who never complained about going to therapy. I never cried. I never really got upset because I just loved being there. It really, to me, was kind of like a recess from life. Um, when you see people who go through the same things that you go through, it's really uplifting to know that you're not alone in this journey. And even if like you meet people who don't have the same challenges as you, they do see you for who you are. I've met some of the best people in my life, and I know they are, because they just make it seem normal. I mean, my best friend, she, I met her online, and she said to me before we met for the first time that as much as we talk, I almost forget that you have a disability. Um, I don't really talk too much about my disability because it's not something I want to. I don't want to get too. Not that I don't want to get too personal. I just don't. If people don't want to hear it, or if it's just not like, it's not a subject I like to bring up all the time. I do make jokes. I do think it's fun to laugh at yourself and to have that sense of humor that's not um, depressing. I mean, there are some depressing jokes that cross boundaries, but I think in general, I like to just have fun with, make people comfortable with my disability. I tell some funny stories. When I was a kid, or when I was probably 7 or 8 as a kid, my dad got me the video game Dance Dance Revolution. And I opened it up. I looked at my brothers and thought, what the hell is this? Because I definitely cannot play this game. And it just was fun. It's one of those moments that at that time it was awkward, but now it's just hilarious to say that story that my dad got me Dance Dance Revolution. That and I told my therapist that, and she laughed. She said, like, what type of parent gets that? And I think my dad thought it would be a good exercise to get my legs moving, but not that level. I've had I've had a lot of surgery when I was born, and then I had a surgery when I was 5 or 6. I think I was no, I was 6 because I was in kindergarten, and that was to lengthen my hamstrings. And then I had the same surgery to lengthen my hamstrings when I was 9 or 10, fourth grade. And both the times when I did that, the teachers I had those years were just phenomenal. Mrs. Cumby was great. She adapted the classroom and she made it work for me. And Mrs. Matazuski, she was very adaptive. So when I was in kindergarten, like I had to be in a body cast, which was not fun. And she made sure that she had adapted the room for for my surgery for me, and it was just so, looking back, it was so comforting to know that I had teachers that were not only caring, but they were willing to put in the effort that, I'm not saying teachers wouldn't, but the people that would, it stands out a lot more later on in life. Um, so with my disability and with my physical therapy and everything, I can get around within a room or a house, like this house I live in. I don't use my chair inside the house. I use it to go get the mail. I use it to do laps up and down the driveway for exercise. And I use it when I go out with friends or go out anywhere. Um, to me, it's not a disability, it's just another way to get around. And I think if you view life, not that my disability is negative, but if you view life as always being negative, then you're not really living life. I have friends who have been in car accidents. I've had friends who have MS. I've had friends with multiple worse conditions than what I have, and they're just as positive as I am, if not more. So I'm trying to learn how to not better myself, but I'm trying to stay as positive as they are, because frankly, life keeps rolling on, and we just roll along with it. Um, The parking's phenomenal, so that's one positive. The jokes are great when people appreciate them. Sometimes you make a joke and just timing, it doesn't really work as well. Um, but I think for me, my friends through occupational and physical therapy are my life friends. Like, I wouldn't trade any of them for anything. I have friends where I would say, like, I have friends that I would feel the same way, like my friends from choir or madrigals. But even over my choir friends, even over my college friends, even over my close friends now, uh, my physical therapy friends and my occupational therapy friends, they're the second thing to family. Like, it's the closest thing to me. Um, I still talk to all of them, or most of them weekly, like I've said earlier. And like I've said, I met other people through them. I remember when about 10 years ago, I was auditioning for madrigals, and my friend Paige, I was either talking to her or I was just like, I added her on Facebook, and my mom told me that she was related to my physical therapist. And I thought that was so cool because the physical therapist she's related to is my favorite person ever, Sherry Cassidy. And like, it just brought me back to my physical therapy roots, and it reminded me of how great life has been for me. So that's just been such a blessing to me. Um, I just love talking about life because I'd much rather hear a story or tell a story than hear something negative or like just or to like miss a chance to say something. Um, I'm kind of been rambling for the past 12 minutes, but in all honesty, I could go on for 3 more hours. Like, so to close this video out, I'm going to talk about a few moments that were kind of funny that I remember through therapy. Um, so my therapist, Sherry Cassidy, she one time I had a loose tooth and it was like about to hang off, and I was gonna wait till I got home. And Sherry just said, "Well, let me just pull it out for you." And my mom says this, and it's very true. I would let Sherry do almost anything she wanted. If she wanted to throw me in the air, I would be all for it. If she wanted to hang me upside down for whatever reason, let's go ahead. Because she knew how to make my body loose and feel better and just make life and therapy as normal as possible. Um, so I have a lot of stories from her, and she, outside of my family, she has been a huge motivating factor to seeing people as people. I mean, I know people do see each other as human beings, but people do see disabilities. I mean, you just, when you're in a wheelchair, you get that look and you're thinking, I know what you're thinking, and I know you're not going to say anything, or you probably won't say anything, but I get it. I feel you. And it's not their fault. It's kind of it's because they haven't been around enough people with disabilities. But PT and OT have been just such a great asset to me, and it's really made me who I am. So I probably haven't even covered half of what I wanted to say in this video, but we're going on 14 minutes now. So please comment or comment a question, or just send me a question via YouTube or Facebook, and I will answer anything in my next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.